Do you realize that the worst way to sell your 10K plus coaching high ticket offer is by asking for your prospects' time? But time and time again, that's what I see most coaches doing, asking their prospects to watch a 45-minute or longer webinar or maybe a VSL, and then asking them to join a 45-minute or 1 hour sales call, which they don't want to join as well. And what happens is a lot of people fall through the cracks. People don't watch all the way through the webinar because they don't have the time for it. They don't have the time to schedule a call where they know they're going to be sold to. Nobody loves being sold to. So you have a lot of people dropping off in terms of not booking calls with you and ultimately saying no to you because they don't want to be in a high pressure situation where they want to say yes or no after that short period of time. So most coaches sit there and say like, hey, there's no other way to do this. Like I realize it's not a great setup, but today I'm going to show you a very simple system that I use to kind of pick up all those people that fall through the cracks of the typical coaching funnel, that don't book a call, that don't watch all the way through the webinar, that ultimately don't show up for your sales call, or they say no on your sales call altogether. All those people I can engage with, monetize, and get them into your high ticket coaching program with a process that asks for, very little of their time. The time they are spending, they can do it on their own schedule. And I interact with them when it makes most sense for me. So it's a very low pressure when it makes sense for them. Really fits in with kind of the busy lifestyle of probably your audience that's just very time poor, doesn't have time to get into a sales conversation, and probably doesn't want to be sold to. So I make it very conversational and move them through the process in the same way that you would on a sales call without having to get to the end of the sales call and saying like, hey, I need a yes or no answer here. They have the time to talk to their spouse. They have the time to think through what questions they have, all those kind of things. And what it results in is a lot more qualified and motivated people that join your program because they don't feel like they were in this high pressure situation where they had to ultimately come to a 10, 20, 30K type of investment, which might have been the most amount of money they've spent on their coaching in their life. So a huge amount of dollars they're putting on the line. Let's give them a setup that works for them. So it's the first time joining one of my lives. I'm Brian Czekanski, and I help coaches and experts in particular 10x their high ticket sales and coaching programs by using and really complementing what they're doing with this specific process that I'll talk through today. So again, in my process, I'm really focused on those leads that have gone through your complete sales process. They've opted in, they potentially watched your webinar, your VSL, they might have booked a call with you, they might not have, they might have shown up, like booked a call, maybe not shown up, or they jumped on a sales call with one of your sales teams and they said no or not the right time. Like all those people, those are the people that I want to interact with. You paid Facebook, you paid Google for those leads. I give you the opportunity to monetize those leads and really get, re-engage them in a sales conversation and monetize them along the way. It doesn't matter if they opted in a year ago, 3 years ago, 5 years ago, I can re-engage them by kind of catching their attention. So it all starts with like kind of re-engaging them, getting them back into the process, catching their attention again. We can't close people in high ticket sales if we don't have their attention. So the first part is really just getting back in front of them with an email that catches their attention. So I'm really just selling a new opportunity to them. I'm not talking about your offer or your high ticket coaching program whatsoever, but I'm talking about the new opportunity that is specific to them. So again, something that is new, that is different, that goes against the current plan that they're going through right now, or all the conventional wisdom that they're talking about. So I want to put that new opportunity that speaks in their language that they really want the most. Always think about people kind of sitting on Hell Island and we want to get them to Heaven Island. What does that Heaven Island look like? And what does that specific promise look like in terms of that opportunity? Again, we're just putting that shiny opportunity in front of them to catch their attention. And in that email, we'll go into a little bit more detail. We're not going to put a ton of detail in there, but we're going to go through kind of the two essentials that I talked about a few days ago. So like what's different about your opportunity or your approach, and what's missing from what they're currently trying right now, or what conventional wisdom will tell you. Those two separate things into your unique approach and your unique mechanism are the things that are going to further build on that curiosity. They're going to add some credibility to that opportunity. And then we might get into some testimonials. So usually I share a couple testimonials to kind of just back up the promise or the opportunity that I had at the top of the email. The other times, a lot of coaches and experts that I work with, they have a story that kind of lines up with the prospects that they work with. So if you have a transformational story that really lines up with where your prospects are right now, might share a super small tidbit of that. So the initial email might be 300 words or less, but all we're trying to do is whet their appetite, kind of get their attention again and get them excited. And at the end, we're going to just talk about, like, again, to build some scarcity, to think about some urgency as well, talking about kind of building up some cohorts of high ticket people going into your program. So might take that into like 5 or 10 people as a first initial test of, okay, we're enrolling 5 to 10 people into this opportunity here. Raise your hand by replying to that email, and by replying, they get into that typical sales conversation. So instead of asking them to jump on a sales call, we're just going back and forth via email or DM or SMS or maybe in a Facebook group, wherever it makes sense. This process is something that is really modular and can be used anywhere. But when they reply back, that's where I would go through that typical process that you would on a sales call, start to qualify them. I'll try and get a better sense of, okay, I've caught their attention in terms of that new unique opportunity. Now I'm going to qualify them and make sure that they're a right fit for the coach or expert that I've talked to, because we don't want to be just enrolling anybody. We want to be enrolling those right fit qualified people along the way. So I'll answer, get a better sense of where they're coming from, what they're specifically looking for. And in this qualifying, what I typically find is like most email lists and leads that you have will probably fall into maybe 3 to 5 different buckets. So you have all different types of leads on your email list. As we kind of specialize and kind of break them down into different avatar types, we can speak their unique language. We can kind of personalize more of your ads on the front end and increase the high ticket closings, even with your sales team, because we can speak more directly to their experience, where they're coming from. And by segmenting, we can personalize a lot more. And then for those people that make sense in that qualifying stage, that they know this is a high priority for them, and solving whatever problem they have right now lines up with the offer, that's when I'll put the offer in front of them. Maybe by just continuing the conversation in whatever avenue that we're using, whether it's email or DM or whatever it is, or maybe it's by using a Google Doc, by kind of really personalizing it to them. So as they're kind of giving me more information about their background and what they're going through, I can really personalize the offer to them. Again, by personalizing that's going to increase our conversions. It's going to catch their attention, and really molding that offer that you have, that high ticket program, to their specific situation. And by doing that, we're going to, again, they're going to know they're in the right place, that this time is going to be different, and that they're not going to have to suffer through, all those other coaching programs, or have any doubt this is going to be the right choice for them. So you can kind of see how, again, none of that requires any time on their part, in terms of like not asking for an hour of their time. It really is kind of really short emails or messages back and forth. They reply back when it makes most sense for them. I'm consistently following up to make sure there's urgency, to make sure that the conversation is top of mind for them. And for the most part, I'm really enrolling those people that might have a question or maybe an objection that jumped on a sales call with you, that there wasn't enough time, or maybe it wasn't the right matchup with the salesperson that they got in front of. Really tapping in those people. And then for the rest of the people, getting a good sense of like, okay, what segment are they a part of, and how can we personalize our message going forward to enroll even more people in the future months in those high ticket programs, by being a little bit more specific, speaking to those segments and what they're going through, what they've tried before, and what they're ultimately looking for. Again, that personalization through segmentation is a big part of that, catching people's attention, number one, but ultimately moving them through, letting them know they're in the right place, and doing that. So take a look at your process. Again, this is something that I don't step on the toes of any sales team opportunities that you might be having right now. Again, I don't ask for any upfront investment for the right partner. This can be something super complementary to what you're doing right now, and kind of engaging those leads that have kind of gone through your process, said no to your offer, either directly or indirectly, and I can re-engage with them, close these high ticket type of sales. So 5K or above is really the typical price range that I'm at, but goes all the way up to 30, 40, 50K that I've been able to close in this process. So if it makes sense for us to have a discussion, let me know. But otherwise, hit that like button in terms of this video. If you're watching on YouTube, hit that subscribe button, and I'll catch you on a future live.